Today, we're gonna bake my favorite apple cake. Hi guys, welcome back to Bread and Butter. Today we're going to be doing some baking, and yes, this is probably one of my favorite apple cakes. This might seem like a lot of ingredients, but trust me, it's all quite basic and very necessary. So today's cake is going to be gluten-free. We're using corn flour, and I have some gluten-free oats, which we're going to grind down into a flour. I'm using some brown sugar, some baking soda, some baking powder, and a tiny bit of salt. Where's my cinnamon? I'm gonna get my cinnamon. So these are all the dry ingredients. Definitely cinnamon. Apples love cinnamon. These are the wet ingredients. We're gonna be using 2 eggs, a few apples. I have some different varieties here. Definitely some lemon juice, a little bit of olive oil, and this is a thing called kefir. I love this stuff. It's very good, very rich in probiotics. You could definitely substitute this for some coconut yogurt or like a soy yogurt. I'll show you the consistency just so you know how to thin it out if it's necessary. Now it's gonna be really simple. We're gonna chop up the apples, and no, I'm not gonna peel them. And then basically just mix all of the dry ingredients in a food processor, then add the wet ingredients, and we are ready to go. Don't you just love a recipe that basically comes together on its own in a food processor? You just kind of throw the ingredients in and voila, the dough is ready. You will have something quite loose. Come have a look. This is exactly what the dough is supposed to look like. We're gonna add this to the apples, kind of mix it all together. And now we're gonna prepare this. I'm gonna use this form today because it's really, really simple to bake in it. What I like to do is I like to line it with parchment paper so nothing kind of sticks together, and it's really easy to remove the cake afterwards. I wanted to remind you that the whole recipe is linked in the caption to this video. And if you have any questions about substitutions, just drop a comment below. The batter is ready. This thing, I have no idea what you call it. Is it like a cake form, a cake pan, a cake spring? Fully lined and ready to go. What we could do is just put the dough in here and you know, bake it. By the way, I've already preheated my oven to 160 degrees Celsius. I have no idea how much that is in Fahrenheit, but you can totally Google it. And it will be delicious. But I like to take things one step further, and we're gonna make a stunning, fabulous, delicious, like nutty crumble that I put all over the cake on top, and it goes really, really well with the apples. What you will need is some kind of nut flour. I have a mix here of almond flour and I think peanut flour, but you can use any one that you have on hand except for coconut flour, or you can make it by yourself. Just toast some, I don't know, some almonds and then just kind of mix them up in the blender or the food processor. This is really good. Then we're gonna use some butter. If you wanna keep this recipe lactose-free, you can totally use olive oil or coconut oil. This is just melted butter. I've got some salt, and I like to go heavy on the salt in my crumble. Again, lots and lots of cinnamon and a bit more sugar. And we're gonna use pecans. I'm not sure if they're pecans or pecans, but they go really well with apples. And I'm gonna kind of crush them into the almond flour. I don't want them too small, so I'm not grinding them up in a blender. I just like to do it by hand because I like to get like little chunks of pecans in every single bite. And the idea is that we're gonna mix everything up together, pour it in oil, and then just kind of zhuzh it up and mix it up with our hands to kind of form a nice, sticky, wet crumble that is gonna go on top of the cake. I'm so excited. I'm actually starving. I haven't had breakfast yet, and I'm really, really looking forward to eating this. Let's go. This already smells divine. This is gonna bake for an hour in the oven. Please don't forget to preheat your oven. And I will see you later with a piece of cake and some coffee. A tiny piece of cake for myself. Doesn't it look absolutely gorgeous? And the smell, it's just divine. Now you could serve this up with some vanilla ice cream or some Greek yogurt, or just enjoy it on its own. It is moist and crumbly. Oh my gosh, so good. Look at this stunning crumble on top. It really, really works well with the cake itself. And make sure you put a lot of salt in there, because then you have like the sweetness of the apples and the brown sugar and the salty crumble on top. So good. Guys, you have to try this. What you could do is you can bake the cake with pears. You could totally add in some raisins. You can really work with this, but to me, it's perfect. Please, I beg you, you have to try it. And let me know in the comments below, how do you like this cake? I think it's my favorite apple cake. I have lots of recipes of apple cakes, but this one, it just has like a special place in my heart.